Hey, what's up? It's Wes here, aka Seahawktopmist Prime. Welcome back to the channel, the Seahawks Times. I'm going to get right into it in this video. We'll skip all the intro stuff. The keys to the game. What are the Seahawks' keys to winning this game tomorrow? How can they pull off the upset in Santa Clara? You know, they're a dog by like 9.5 points in the Vegas spread, if not further. And, you know, that's justified to a degree with how established the Niners defense is right now and how desperate they are for a win. It makes sense that they're desperate for a win. The narrative is really spreading down there that Garoppolo needs to come in and take control of this team. Trey Lance hasn't got a lot of games under his belt, so they're being a little bit harsh on Lance, actually a lot harsh on Lance in my opinion. But what can Seattle do to take advantage of this and, you know, come down there and pull off an upset? First and foremost, they need to tackle. You know, if they can tackle on the outside with Elijah Mitchell out, and, you know, I don't think that Lance is going to be exposed too much in power run. Can the Seahawks tackle? We have issues at linebacking, not at, you know, OLB linebacking, but at will linebacker, with Cody Barton being a bit dinged up. Cody Barton, not the most dynamic athlete, a very hardworking athlete, but Jordan Brooks, you know, he can't be everywhere at once, as amazing as he is. Shanahan is really good at scheming outside. Can we tackle when Debo gets the ball in the end around? Can we tackle, you know, when Mason or Wilson Jr. has blockers out in front of him? Can we make those plays with Jamal Adams out of the game, out for the season? Can those safeties come up? Can those corners come up and hit? I'm going to be looking for that early because both teams are going to look to establish the run, in my opinion. Maybe a couple sneaky deep shots off play action from both sides. Seattle Seahawks need to get pushed up front. They cannot let Lance get comfortable in the middle of the pocket. I do believe we will have a spy on Trey Lance, but if we let Trey Lance have time in the pocket and step up, they do have underrated receivers with Ayuk, Jennings. These guys can play. Even Dwelly can make catches. You know, we've always had issues with our zone defense, so I'm excited to see a different kind of play set this year and have people taking away the middle of the field and giving teams more of a, you know, especially a younger QB like Trey Lance having to beat us on the outside of the field. So that's going to be interesting. Niners fans, this is not the same Seahawks defense, and Seahawks fans, you're seeing that showed up last week. We are aggressive up front. We're not trying to give QBs a lot of time, so that could trouble Trey Lance, especially with our young corners looking to be sharky out there. Tariq Woolen, you got to be careful where you throw the ball, and I'm telling you, this defense is different this year. We are going to try to get turnovers like we did back in 2012-13. No, we don't have the LOB, but we've got kind of the second coming in some of those players. Do your research on those guys. Other keys to the game for Seattle, we just have to get third down completions. Fred Warner and those guys are excellent at limiting teams to third down, let alone Bosa, Kinlaw. But when we got third and short here, we just got to get the ball complete, you know, at least 50% of the time on third down. If we can do that, Seattle can be in the game, take what is given to us by the Niners, whether that's field goals or TDs. We got to capitalize on those drives. Obviously, limiting turnovers. Yes, we can turn the ball over. That is going to typically happen in the game when you're away against such a dominant defense, but we can't do it in bad spots. Geno Smith has to hold on to the ball, not get strip sacked, and not let the San Francisco defense score. So, you know, I'm not expecting a turnover-free game here from Seattle, but when it happens, we can't get scored on. We got to do it in our end of the field there and really limit the damage there as the Niners look to really try to take advantage of our young tackles and blitz a lot, I think, with Jackson and Bosa off of the edges there, and even send linebackers at time. Geno's going to be ready for that, though. I think he's going to have a lot of hot reads. It's just, can they make those plays? The Seattle Seahawks need someone to step up at the third wide receiver spot to win this game, whether that's D. Eskridge, Derek Young, whether that's Kobe Parkinson at tight end, or Noah Fant. We need a third set of hands there because Seattle, or I mean, you know that the Niners are going to put a lot of attention on Metcalf and try to get help on Lockett there. So who's going to be able to catch over the middle? I'm looking for a big game from Noah Fant. That's sneaking to me. They do have good safeties over there in SF, but Fant underutilized last game. The touchdowns went to the other TEs. As you guys can see, we are using tight ends now in this Waldron set, and that is exciting. Another key factor for the Seattle Seahawks to win, they need to get Ken Walker involved. I know that Ken Walker might be limited in his touches, but he can really surprise the Niners here. If Ken Walker can come out here and get 7 to 10 touches and take advantage of those and get 50 to 60 yards, or maybe even break a big play, that could win Seattle Seahawks this game. Other factors here, you guys feel free to share them both sides of the fence here, but this is the Seahawks' keys to winning the game, is the coaching decisions. You know, in those incremental moments when it's, you know, 4th and inches, 3rd and 9, what are we doing? How are we going to make the calls here? Play clock management late in the game, as I do believe that this game is going to get greasy, whether or not it's a bigger, like 10-point win, vice versa for each side. It's going to be a greasy game. And by that, I mean, there's going to be crucial decisions that have to to be made. Shanahan is known for kind of freezing up at the end of the games. Who's going to have the courage? Are the Seahawks going to have a courage to take the deep shot that the Niners give them as they look to press Seattle at the line of scrimmage? Will Geno have the courage to let that ball go and let DK win a one-on-one matchup with a guy like Travarius Ward? Because DK is not afraid now. Now look at guys, you know Seattle's the dog in this team, but I'm going to say this just like I said last week. We have freaks out there. We got Tariq the Freak Avatar Woolen. We got DK, the Mandalorian Metcalf in DK's domain. You know, Geno Smith, I know is not threatening you guys, but he's playing sound football. We've got Rashad Penny. That guy's 230 pounds, and he's running really well right now. Ken Walker coming behind that. We have a lot of tight ends here, guys. We got a 3-deep tight end set. And I'm looking forward to seeing if the Seahawks can get continuity going with the tempo in the offense that worked last week against the Denver Broncos. The media narrative is that the Broncos lost that game. The Seahawks are super lucky to get out in a way. But we did sign Uchenna Nwosu. We did sign some really low-key guys like Mike Jackson. And those guys were the difference in the game. So you got to give the Seattle front office credit for coming out and not being afraid of the Denver Broncos. And I think they're going to do the same thing this week. I'm not calling a win or a loss. But if they do pull an upset, those are some key reasons why. You tell me what you think is going to happen in this game and what the keys are for the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I love and appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going live after the game. I'm going to do a live stream, the first live stream, probably about 4 p.m., Pacific Standard Time. Peace and love. Go Hawks.